the fact that our defense could get lined up as quickly as they did. You know, we were going, you know, the offense is going fast-paced, high tempo. And the defensive coaches got the boys lined up, and they're ready to play the ball when the ball was being snapped, which, considering so much is just brand new to everybody, I was kind of curious to see how that would go. And I know there was mistakes, and guys weren't aligned perfectly, and there's some shifts in motions that, you know, caused a little confusion and things of that nature. But like I said, considering it was the very first day of doing it, I thought the defense really did a nice job. Very hard to point out anybody individually. There's so much film to look at. We'll be getting on that here in just a little bit. But overall, I thought it was a really good first day.
How much time did you kind of maybe step back for a second, take stock of how your new assistants were doing their business and running your show, and what do you think? Well,
I spent most of my time in the fundamental time just observing the defensive staff and looking at some of the fundamental drills they were working on. And a lot of fundamental drills they're very tough to do without shoulder pads on. So some of it was just teaching what's going to happen when the pads get on. But everybody was just really organized, and even our walkthroughs, like Coach Pruitt will have 2 or 3 guys standing behind the #1 safety. When you're in a walkthrough, instead of 1 guy walking through, you got 3 guys walking through at the same time. So you'll have a pack of safeties, you know, at one position, and another pack of safeties here, and linebackers and corners, and they're all kind of getting the reps together instead of, you know, 11 guys there and 22 over there watching and then rotating and all that. And even during the walkthroughs, we were basically 2-spotting that on offense. So you had 1s and 3s walking through, and you had your 2s walking through stuff. And then on the other field, the defense is doing the same. So really you had four walkthroughs going simultaneously, and then the same thing was happening with our special teams walkthroughs. And then once we got to practicing, you know, we were getting a lot of guys getting a lot of reps. And so again, there'll be a lot of film to watch, and a lot of decisions to be made at so many different positions and so many different special teams functions and things of that nature. In special teams, we're trying to find which guys can do what well. I mean, we like guys that can run. Obviously, we like guys that can, you know, make plays in space. You know, we're trying to learn through some drill work that simulate what's going to happen in the game, who can actually be on these special teams. But our goal is going to be, you know, 2 special teams per defensive starter. We'll see if we get to that or not, because, you know, I'm not going to, you know, if a Costa or a Lucas Red or somebody like that isn't a starter on defense, but they're the best special teamer, we're not going to pull them out just to say we got a starter on that. But guys will be fighting for that, and every defensive coach, other than Rock, you know, Coach Rocker, they're all coaching special teams, and every offensive coach is coaching it minus Bobo and Fred. So there's a lot of cooperation there, and a lot of all hands on deck, so to speak, to be able to get that many guys, get that many reps in a short amount of time.
Coach, on offense, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the quarterbacks or not, but if you did, what'd you see?
Well, Hudson certainly has got total command of what we're trying to do offensively. Fatone is next, and Fatone is getting a lot more reps. And he's doing well. You can tell he's still not 100% certain on every single situation, but we pride ourselves at Georgia to try not to waste any plays offensively. So in doing so, the quarterback's got to make a lot of decisions at the line of scrimmage according to what he sees defensively. So there's a lot of stuff going on. It's just not, we just don't call a running play like, you know, R46 or R toss 48 or whatever it is, and you just come to the line and toss it. No matter what, you're going to come to the line and you're going to look and see what's going on and run the ball to where we think the softest spot of the defense is, or check to a pass. And we're constantly redeclaring who a Mike linebacker is, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but the goal of every play is to not run a play that's a wasted play. Because you can call a play, and if the defense is, overloaded in that direction, and you don't change out of it, we call it a wasted play. When we're outnumbered, we think it's a waste. So we try to make every play a play like that. Bryce is certainly a lot farther along than he was a year ago, and then Jacob his head's spinning. I can't imagine how bad his head's spinning right now, but he did some good things as he's trying to learn what to do.
Coach, how important was it to get off to a good start, like you said earlier, after the incident last night?
Well, we definitely wanted to focus on, the excitement of the first day of spring ball. We have, obviously we had some guys do some things that were foolish, and there'll be, there'll be consequences for that. I'm not ready to talk about that at this moment, but we got a lot of guys that, have been doing extremely well, and we didn't want to take away from, the excitement of day one, and it's football. And, we as coaches were kind of, I don't know, it felt as close to 2001 since I've been here. It felt like the first day of a new staff, and I think a lot of it is because we did have, obviously, new staff on defense, but even, changing the practice schedule as much as we did, it was brand new for me, it was brand new for the offensive staff. The defense obviously was going through some brand new stuff for them, and the players as well, so just a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation, and we actually, what's today, Tuesday, so Monday, yesterday, we got in the staff meeting, we went over the practice on the board, talked about where everybody's gonna be at every period. And then we went out in the field, and as a staff, and we walked through it all, where everybody was gonna be, and then at the end of the player meetings, we took the players out there. And we just kind of walked and said, this is where this drill's gonna be, this is where this drill's gonna be, this is what we're gonna do period 4, 5, 6, or whatever. So we kind of dress rehearsal at least where everybody's gonna be throughout the practice. And then today, when we did it, it showed. It looked like we were organized and knew what we were doing. And we obviously, I was writing a few notes as we went on things we got to clean up, but for the most part, I was impressed with what we did, and I really like the new format.